Assalamu alaikum. Who wants to connect with love and get married this year? Okay, if you do, you may know that I'm hosting a series of monthly workshops called The Keys to Love. But I wanted to jump on here and give you a brief overview of how you can connect with love and get married this year. Okay, so I'm going to give you three things. The first one, excuse me, is to understand why things haven't worked out so far. So this means going into your past relationships and reflecting and digging for the lessons. And now some of you may be like, well, I don't really have any past relationships, just my parents introduced me to someone and I just refused. Or, we only talked for like a week. I feel like there's not enough information there. But what I'm challenging you to do is that regardless of how little or much history you have in past relationships, to look through at how you've been showing up, how you've been responding to people, what type of people have been approaching you, how you've been evaluating them, and really see if you can extract the lessons and the learnings from those things. So this isn't going to be a place where you're going to kind of like get into a pity party of like, oh my God, I'm so sad about all these different things that didn't work out. I want you to approach this with a clear head of like, okay, I'm going to review my past relationships and I am going to look for the lessons that are there and come into it kind of like an investigator, almost like you're a third party, like, interviewing yourself and being like, okay, and then what happened? And then what happened? And really collect the valuable data that is hiding in plain sight in your past. Okay, so that's number one, really to understand why things haven't worked out previously. Number two is to be committed to doing things differently. And isn't it true that if the way that you were being and the way that you were operating was working, that you would get the result that you want? And since you're not getting the result that you want, it is not working for you. The way, however it is that you are being and operating, is not working. So you have to be really committed to doing things differently. And here, you're gonna have a strong pull not to want to do that, to resist it, because we get so comfortable in our ways of being. I'm just like this. This is just how I am. Well, you can either just continue to be how you are and not get the results that you want, or you can change. You can change and get the results that you want. So number two is to really make this commitment to yourself that, you know what? I'm going to do things differently. I'm going to show up differently. I'm going to behave differently. I'm going to react differently. I'm going to respond differently. I'm going to try a different way of approaching this, of approaching my life, of thinking about things. I'm going to think differently because the way that I've been doing things thus far has not worked. And we want something that works. We want the loving relationship. Okay. The final point, number three, is to know that you are whole and complete now. And so this one is huge. As women, and even more so as Muslim women, we have been spoon-fed our whole lives that basically our lives don't start until we're married. We can't leave our house. We can't go and travel. There's so many things you just feel like you're trapped. You can't do until you're married. And that in society, from all the movies and all those things, you're not worthy until a man chooses you, until he gets down on one knee and declares his love for you and wants you, right? And in addition to that, the notion that, you're looking for your better half. And in Islam, that this is completing half your faith. So it can really lend to the feeling that you are incomplete until you are married. And this is so far from the truth. You are completely whole, worthy, deserving, 100% complete, just as you are. You do not need a man to complete you. And you really have to allow yourself to sink into that feeling that I'm good, I'm whole, I'm complete right now. Because if you are in that desperate energy, I need to get married, I need to get married, I need to find someone, I need to be in a relationship, otherwise I'm not good enough, otherwise I can't start my life, otherwise I'm, it's bad, that energy, that view of yourself, that belief will prevent you from making a real connection. So these are 3 small notes, but super powerful, and have the power to transform your life, to allow you to connect with love and get married this year in 2022. And so, as I've said, I am hosting a 12-month series on the keys to love to guide you through those 3 things and so much more, so that you can connect with love, allow love in, and inshallah get married this year, 2022. And this is just one option for you. If you're not interested in doing my series, then please find support in other ways. You can turn to books. If you do, I highly recommend that you get 8 books or more, and that they're by a variety of different authors, focused in on whatever you feel like is your block, your issue, and read all of those books, absorb all of that material, because they're each going to approach it from a different angle. And having that plethora of books will hopefully find the way that someone phrases things, words things, that's going to click with you, that's going to support you to make the changes that you're going to need to make. If you're going to decide to find someone else to support you, then look for someone who has a framework that they're going to walk you through, that they're going to guide you to undo and unlearn and let go of your limiting beliefs around relationships, around love. Preferably find someone who was in the position that you've been in before, or that you are feeling a connection to, that the way that they are describing things, that you understand it, that it clicks for you. Because the main thing is that you want to shift, to make that mental shift in your head, and whoever it is that helps you make that shift, go there. Specifically for relationships, look for someone who's been in a relationship at least for 8 years. And I say a long-term relationship because you want your mentor, your guide, your therapist, your coach, whoever you're turning to really have been through the fire of what it means to be in a relationship. So someone who's just recently married and wants to support you, they can, but if you really want to get the best type of support that you can, I would suggest someone who's been in a relationship for at least 8 years. Finally, if you are looking for someone and they are not Muslim, just make sure that they have a spiritual connection, that they are referencing a higher power, that they're talking about God, that they're talking about the divine, because you want them to support you in a way that's grounded in an understanding that there is something larger and there is something bigger. Because if you're a Muslim woman and you are looking for that support, it can be very fragmented if the person that you're getting support from does not hold the belief in a higher power.